is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford
All right.
Sports Talk
We're going to go ahead and
Show.
get started here. Tonight's thing is everything's going to be looking good. All right. Welcome to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. Just going to make sure that everything's looking good here tonight. We're going to make sure we go error-free, and you're going to have a great time. So definitely welcome to the Alford Sports Talk Show. Hope everybody's doing well out there. And if you want to join the show, feel free to do so. Give us a call here at 516-418-5572. Again, that's 516-418-5572. So, yes, you're going to go ahead and have a great time for you. Let me go ahead and make sure that everything's coming through on the Alford Sports Talk Show. And you can check us out, too, live there on YouTube. So we're doing the double your pleasure. And in fact, let me go ahead and make sure I got the call-in number for you, 516-418-5572. Again, that's 516-418-5572. Let me just get confirmation that you guys can hear me, and we're going to be good to go. I know that you can hear me on the YouTube. I just want to make sure you can hear me on the blog talk, too. Let me just make sure that, guys. And that's what we try to do, make it easy for you so you could hear both ways. In fact, let me check it for you right now. Give me one moment. Okay. Testing. All right. All right. So, in fact, the show is brought to you and sponsored by Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you visit Chef G's right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And then if you can't come down to Tampa, that's all right. Come on down to flbbqsauce.com. Again, it's flbbqsauce.com. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you visit Chef G's there at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, visit them at flbbqsauce.com. Again, it's flbbqsauce.com. In fact, all the music is played and sponsored by none other than Sam Scola. So we're going to play that intro song with Sam Scola. Just want to thank our songwriter, Sam Scola, and his wife, Mary. They're doing some big things on vacation there, Switzerland, and a whole lot more. So let me play the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song to you. And we're going to continue on a great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. Let me play that song for you right now.
Comes in for variety, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. A classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Comes in four varieties, Chef G's Florida.
Visit Chef G's right there in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Chef G's, so delicious and addicting. You may need a support group, and definitely check them out there. Sam Scola is sing along with Sam at gmail.com. And thank you so much, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, for being our wonderful sponsor. Don't forget that sauce, flbbqsauce.com. In fact, we're going to go ahead and kick the show off. We're going to bring on our first call of the day. Let's do that right now on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. In fact, let's do that. Hey, how you doing, Lou?
Yeah.
Everything's good? Okay. You don't do black? Yeah, it has its advantages in life, and just like anything else, it has its disadvantages. I love the fact that you can go ahead and call in, at the 516-418-5572 number. It worked out really great because I was able to interview Willie Horton, who wasn't so technically inclined. We was able to get a great audio recording of him using Blog Talk. Great people like yourself can call in. It's not as convenient when you're just doing StreamYard as far as people calling in and talking to you. They could chat with you. That's not a problem, but it's not as convenient for them to talk. And I'm kind of old school. I love the fact that people could just call in. As a kid, I used to be a call in a radio station. I was lucky to get in sometimes. So I'm a creature of old habits. So have I thought about Nixon the blog tech? Yes, but then I like, hey, I can't talk to great people like yourself, Diane, and a lot of great callers. And I said I love that flexibility. Wow, yeah, definitely. That's a lot. That's a lot in a month, let alone a week, man. So wow, yeah, that is a lot. That's a lot going on. But the good news is spring training is in effect. You got other things to think about. Yeah, yeah. So you got yeah, yeah. I know what you're saying. You got a lot of options around this time of year, which is nice. But there's a lot of time to warm up. But yeah, a lot of things going on in the world. I wanted to get your thoughts on the Russell Wilson saga. Who would you say is to blame on that? Was it say more Russell, more Broncos, or what would you say? Your take on that? I agree with you. I agree with you, Lou. I think, yeah, he had a rough first year. You know what I mean? He did. He played great. But I think the second year, he actually played a lot better. I mean, you've seen he was learned system. He was progressing. I thought he played, actually made some really nice plays. I would actually put him definitely a solid B plus. He improved dramatically. And the Broncos, I just think collectively as a team, they just don't have that high power offense. But I thought he was playing really well. And he was playing really well. And in fact, I did not agree with them benching him 3/4 or like 60% of the year. I didn't agree with that at all. Why do you bench a guy that's actually playing well? I mean, I think they were just trying to just save money and get rid of his contract. I don't think they really, yeah, I don't think they really gave him a legitimate chance in year two. I think he was doing well, and I think obviously, if you take my word for it, they were so inept on saving money. I think they told him during the season to kind of get in his head so he could play poorly to kind of justify getting rid of him. But the fact that he actually blocked out and played well, and they just benched him, made the Broncos look even worse. I agree. I agree. You give us some stuff. Yeah, yeah, I think so too. And I'm gonna talk more about that a bit later show. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I feel as if players want to compete, you got to give them a legitimate shot. And a lot of times, a lot of times people look at the players, but a lot of times it's the coach. And the coach didn't have his back. That was at the end of the day. That's what happened. But I tell you who you do have their back. That's going to be the great audience that's going to be calling in tomorrow. So what do you got planned for cooking for tomorrow? Yep. Wow, that's outstanding. That's a wow. That's a round of applause for you. That's awesome. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right, folks. You got to make sure you call in at 512-543-4662, 512-543-4662, and make sure too that you also visit him right there on YouTube. Just type in Enhanced Sports Show and you'll get a chance to see the great Lou live in person. Make sure you check them out on YouTube as well as calling in at 512-543-4662. And that's going to be between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone tomorrow, Saturday. Make sure you support Lou. That's for sure. That's right. Yep, that's right. That's Lou, the legend. Make sure you call in, folks. I appreciate you, Lou. You're always a pleasure. Yes, I am. That's compliment to Blog Talk. That's where they created the number. Yeah. So, and shout out to Blog Talk, because they make it tough for you to kind of nix them, I say, you would say. Wow, that's awesome, man. You're doing big things. Mhm. You're the man, Lou. Keep it up. I'm gonna be calling in tomorrow. That's right. It just began. My man Lou is doing big things, folks. Make sure you call in and get him tomorrow, 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Definitely all. That's right. Set your clocks ahead an hour. We lose an hour's sleep, folks. Always a pleasure. You the man. All right. I'm gonna get Diane. That's awesome. So yes, that's the outstanding Lou. Really appreciate him joining us on the Allen Alford Sports Talk show. Always a pleasure to have Lou. And yeah, it's always a pleasure. Make sure you guys support Lou. I'm gonna be calling in tomorrow too. But yeah, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about that. It's a situation where I thought about this and looked into it. It's definitely, in my opinion, more the Broncos' fault than it is Russell. Now, let me start from the very top. I do feel as if there is some validity to what people have been saying about Russell. He has to be more of one of the guys. He cannot be going around trying to be an NFL celebrity as well as the quarterback all in one. You have to go about, play your game, do your thing, and ingratiate yourself with your teammates. You don't want, especially in the way the mentality of football players are, you don't want them feeling as if you are up here and they're down here. You want us feeling as if it's a team sport. Everybody's, status quo. Everybody's contributes, but no one's above the team, no one's below the team. Everybody's on par. And the reason why you want to do that is because you get dissension, you get jealousy, you get someone who is thinking about something other than just playing their game and competing to win. You want your guys to compete to win. That is the primary focus. You don't need them focusing on the perks you're getting and why you're getting them and so far and so forth. I felt as if that was a mistake for Russell to go ahead and wear your own jersey coming in day one. It kind of says, really, it's not really a big deal that you're wearing a jersey, but it kind of sends a message that I am the bomb and then some. It just comes across that way. And doing the research, this reared its ugly head in the Super Bowl they should have won because the team, the Legion of Boom, felt as if Russ was getting a lot of these privileges. He was kind of like act like he's up here, everybody's down here, and it cost him the Super Bowl because
Guys were, basically, I feel as if they were trying to give Russ the MVP instead of giving it to beast mode. When you're trying to win a game and you're trying to ball out and win, it's not about who gets individual accolades. It's about winning. They put the individual accolade of Russ getting that MVP ahead of winning. And to be frank with you, if he throws that touchdown, yes, he gets the MVP. But to me, before that play, the person who was really balling out and deserved that MVP was Marshawn Lynch. They should have handed the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. He would have got a second touchdown. It would have been a seal the deal touchdown. They win the game. There still was a little bit of time on the clock, but it was going to be looking real good for them. And on top of it, yes, Marshawn would have sealed the deal getting that MVP. But that was the priority, was getting a touchdown and winning, not Russ getting an MVP. And it backfired. And you see, I feel as if Russ hasn't learned his lesson yet. Him wearing that jersey, getting all those perks, he didn't learn his lesson. If anything, he felt as if he was feeling himself a little too much in Denver. That rubbed the wrong way, and you could see it in results. The first year was atrocious. I think he learned from that. He learned more of the system. In comes Sean Payton, another coach. Started off pretty good in the year. I thought Russ actually played a lot better in year 2 than he did year 1. It was a very good comeback year, but it wasn't good enough for some parties. And the biggest party that had to kind of be in his favor, aside from his teammates, was his coach. Coach wasn't sold on Russ, and I think a lot of this has to do with ego. He wanted to get his own guy in and kind of take all the credit by bringing his own guy in, developing him, and saying, "Hey, yeah, I did it. See, I got this guy in." A lot of coaches unfortunately put the ego ahead of winning. And as a coach, you have to be able to develop different players. You can't kind of pick and choose who you always get on the team. You have to kind of take what you have and make the most of it and develop. That includes developing a lot of the players that are already on the team, whether you selected them or not. Russ was on the team. He should have made sure that he did everything in his power to make sure Russ was successful. Regardless of how it turned out, you have to give your quarterback an honest, kind of like, you got to give him an honest shake at it. And I felt as if Sean Payton never gave an honest shake at it. In fact, he pulled the plug real early because they wanted to save that money. They wanted to save that money. They pulled the plug on Russell, and they benched him for the rest of the year. Before they benched him, they said, "Hey, you have to change things in your contract." Never a good situation, and it ended out poorly. I hope Russ does land on his feet. I feel as if he's a very good quarterback. He can help somebody win. I don't feel as if he's a Patrick Mahomes. I don't feel as if he's a Lamar Jackson. I don't feel as if he's on that level. But I think he's a very good quarterback and can help a team win with the right situation. And I hope he does find that situation. I do feel as if the Broncos are more the blame on this. Russ does shelter some of the blame, but clearly the Broncos made an investment that they didn't get the instant results they wanted, and they acted accordingly to save money and cut ties. And ultimately, it's more, I feel, clearly the Broncos' fault. You didn't support the guy. This is just year 2. If anything, you made it so he would fail. So definitely, I hope Russ lands on his feet, does a lot better. Wish him the best. Other big news that happened this week was Jason Kelce officially retired. I'll give you my thoughts on that. When I watched that press conference and I listened to it and checked it out, I don't think Jason Kelce is ready to retire. If you're going to be that upset about a decision you knew was coming and you knew we're going to retire, you should at least give it another year and see how it goes. Give it another year, kind of let people know that this is probably going to be it. They give a year to send you off, and the shock and the kind of like the feeling of retirement wouldn't be so harsh on you. I feel as if the man wasn't ready to retire. That's how I feel. That was my takeaway. He was retiring maybe a year or two sooner than he really wanted to or should have. And you can just tell by the emotion that was attached to it. Do guys get emotional when they retire? Sure, they do. But I feel as if there was something extra there, and I feel as if he wasn't really ready to retire. Of course, you never know everything that's going on behind the scenes, but I don't feel as if he was ready based on what I saw. And for you to be that upset, you should have maybe stuck it out for another year or two, at least another year. See how it goes. That's just my take on it. But ultimately, it's Jason's decision. And I definitely wish him the best, him and his family. And, that is always a tough decision. And if you're going to be that upset, you probably need to play another year. That's the way I look at it. Then, go from there. You can always reevaluate after you play a year, see how it goes. Maybe you might have 2 years, but at least give it that year. Say, hey, guys, I'm going out there, giving my best. I am going to let you know that this chapter of the book is getting close to the finish. And people kind of read between the lines. And you see how the year goes. You leave yourself that out. But definitely wish him the best. Big news, too, that happened in NFL is that the Bucs did re-sign Mike Evans. So congratulations to Mike Evans and the Bucs. Yeah, that was a big signing because he's going to be a lifetime Bucs. That's awesome because you want a guy that you drafted who's going to be going to Canton that finished his career with the same team. I mean, he's only had 2 years left on his contract, and he took it in a very nice deal. I think it's a great deal for both sides. He gets a really nice payday on the way out. 2 years. I think it was a great deal on both sides, and I'm glad they did it because you have a guy who's been with your organization a long time. If you were to play for 2 years then retire, it's not the same feeling. So he retired as a Buck. He ends off his career where he started at. That is awesome, and he's going to be going to Canton. So I think that's a great deal for the Bucs, great deal for Mike Evans, and I was glad to see that they did that. And that was awesome. Another thing that the Bucs now can do is I think they should sign up Baker Mayfield and lock that deal down. You'll have a quarterback, you'll have a great receiver, kind of go from there. But definitely they're stepping in the right direction. They need to bring Baker back. I love the fact that the coach wants him back, team wants him back, and it seemed like it's going to work out great for the Bucs and as for Baker Mayfield. I'll be more surprised if he doesn't sign with them than if he does. So I'll keep your eyes on that. So great things happening with the Bucs and the signing. So that's awesome. So round of applause for the Bucs and Mike Evans. That's awesome. We're gonna shift gears now and talk some UFL news. So yeah, they did media day out there, training camp for the last couple days. A lot of interviews, and a lot of feedback from the players. What I would surmise is that this is fun times. This is fun times that the guys get a chance to get the uniform, get that out the way, do a little cameos, and it's really cool. I really like what I'm seeing with the UFL. The only thing that I would say is a bit concerning, which I hope you guys change that, is the ticket sales. I feel as if there's going to be some pockets of places where, of course, the ticket sales, traditionally are going to be well. I think St. Louis is going to do well. I think the Battlehawks are going to do probably number one. The Defenders are going to do well. I think the Brahms are going to do well. But I still feel as if there needs to be a bit more interest from fans at this juncture and ticket sales too. I know that a lot of people get the tickets the last minute, but it is a bit concerning that there isn't a little bit more on the books, so to speak. Still a lot of time to go. It's only the 8th now. The season starts the 30th. I kind of would have liked to see a little bit more of the ticket sales. Not just me, but I have noticed that when I've been checking a lot of the feedback. So hopefully that does change that trend, once people actually see the season start. And, full transparency, I did put in my request to cover game 1 of the UFL to the league. I put in the request for that. So if I'm there, that lets you know that everything went smoothly. They approved it and we're good to go. If you don't see me there, you can pretty much figure out what happened. I put in the request. I have the availability. I put on the calendar. So as far as I'm concerned, I am locked and loaded for March 30th for game one to be there in Texas to watch the Arlington Renegades against the Birmingham Stallions to see game one. I put in the request. I will let you guys see how this plays itself out. Again, I'm blessed and honored to get those tickets. The media credentials should say I will be there. If not, I don't know. The thing about it is it's a different vibe in a different situation, being I'm coming to league and now it's out of state. So if you give me media credentials, I will do an Allen Alford Sports Talk show all out. Fantastic job, but it's either all or nothing as far as I'm concerned when it comes to media, especially when it is out of state. That's just the way it goes. I got to prepare for that. I got to take family time away. And there's a lot that goes into it. It's one thing if it was just a drive to Orlando and back, which is not that close of a drive for me. It's almost, you just figure almost 2 hours there, 2 hours back. It's just a little bit shorter drive than that, technically, but there's always that traffic, slowdowns. I always say, if I leave at 2 o'clock, I'll be there at 4. That's just the way I look at it. If I get there earlier, that's great, but more than likely, that's not going to be the case. So being at a situation that's out of state, yeah, it's either all or nothing. So I put in the request. We'll see what happens. I'm just letting you guys know that. So yeah, we'll kind of go from there. And that's another thing I did mention on this show as well as my other show, the UFL Fan Den, that I was going to try to go to training camp. I did have that in play, but where kind of time went by kind of fast. There are a few things that I have to do here in Tampa, Florida for this month of March. For me to get down there, then come back down there another couple of weeks to season start, probably wasn't logistically as good for me as I would have liked, planning wise and just logistics. So I just figured it's just at this point, just go ahead and show up, come out there for game one, and go from there. But I will keep you guys posted on that. And they're doing a lot of things on the UFL. Check out the UFL.com. Definitely also the UFL.com. Check out YouTube too. While you're here watching me on YouTube, subscribe to the UFL if you haven't already, and also subscribe to Destroying. I did see that nice video, so we'll see if those 6 million followers, 6 million, will come out strong and support, get those tickets. So it'll be interesting to see. But I do think the Browns is going to show up and do well. The only concern I have is that I did see on the schedule that opening day is Thursday and the season starts Saturday. So we'll see how this works itself out. And I'll keep you guys posted. Now we're going to go ahead and switch a little bit of gears and talk some boxing. A lot of boxing news. If you haven't seen it already, if you haven't saw the word, yes, Anthony Joshua, better known as AJ, did beat and knock out Francis Ngannou, and he knocked him out cold. And I was hoping that this fight, when I posted it up, I kind of forgot that it's in Saudi Arabia. And more importantly than me forgetting that, I forgot the time difference. The fight actually did go on earlier than most typical fights on a Friday night here in the States. Everything ended up by about 7:30. But I was going to tell you the same thing that I felt. I felt as if Ngannou was going to have a tougher time beating AJ than he did Tyson Fury. And you might be like, well, how was that possible? Tyson Fury has beat Wilder. He's beat a lot of guys. Tyson Fury is a very, very good technical boxer. He has very good punches, but he's not a knockout type punching power guy where he's kind of, of course, with any heavyweight, he can catch you, you get knocked out, but that's typically not his style. It's usually a combination of him hitting you, you drop that guard, he hit you with that 1-2, you're out. He doesn't have heavier hands as I feel as if a guy like AJ. I felt as if AJ was going to be a much tougher fight for Francis to win than than Tyson Fury. I think he got robbed. Ngannou against Tyson Fury. I do feel as if Ngannou did win that fight. And I did say that he was going to get the decision. Even Ngannou said himself he wasn't going to get the decision, even though he deserved to get it. This is what you get with boxing. So there was no surprises on the way outcome it came out. I was surprised how well Ngannou did against Tyson Fury, but I wasn't as surprised at him not having success against AJ. AJ is a different type of fighter. He has heavier hands. He's stronger in that regard than Tyson Fury. And I just felt as if with AJ, he was a little bit too sound technically for some of the things that Francis got away with. He wasn't going to get away with as much with AJ. And I felt as if the way AJ's style was and the way it is, if you don't really hurt AJ or you leave yourself open the way Francis was doing against Tyson Fury, you are going to get hurt more with AJ. It did not surprise me that AJ knocked him out. I was expecting that. In fact, I just felt as if this was I wouldn't say Francis Ngannou was as bad as he looked, but I felt like this was not going to be a good matchup for Francis for those reasons, especially those hairy hands that he has. AJ, he's stronger than Tyson Fury. The way he's built, I just felt as if it was going to be a good thing for Francis, and he did get knocked out. See, that's why it kind of upsets you even more, because the fight that he should have won, which he did win, in my opinion, and the judge should have awarded him the win, they didn't. And the guy who I felt, along with some of the pros, I didn't feel as if Francis Ngannou was going to beat AJ at all. I felt as if stylistically it wasn't a good match for him. I understand him taking a fight, making the money. I get all that, but yeah, it wasn't the best fight for him, best matchup for Ngannou. And the fight that he had a chance to win, he didn't win. See, he gets knocked out and it looks bad, and he's not that bad of a fighter, especially being that this is his second time going after it. But awesome effort. You got to respect him for going out there, giving it a try against AJ. And that's some of the things about boxing. The guy wins a fight. He should have got an award. He doesn't get it. Then he fights a guy he shouldn't be fighting, probably in fight 2, and he gets knocked out cold. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he can do a rematch with Tyson Fury. That's a possibility. I don't know if I would do Usyk. I mean, he could, but I just feel as if when you get into these technical type fighters, and I felt as if Ngannou had the best night of his life. I don't know if he can repeat it now that the word is out for him. So we'll see. And going forward, too, I got to say, it's official, too. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are going to fight, and it's going to be on Netflix. The interesting thing is going to be on Netflix, and it will not be on pay-per-view. That is shocking. That is the kicker. It's on Netflix, and it's not pay-per-view. It's going to be an entertaining fight. I do give the edge to Jake Paul to win this fight. I think Paul is his youth. He does have enough boxing skill I feel to beat a 57-year-old Mike Tyson. I watched Mike Tyson when he fought Roy Jones Jr., and he did look very good, but I just think him fighting a guy that's bigger, like Jake Paul, size-wise, and with the skill that Jake Paul does have, I do feel the 57-year-old Mike Tyson will have trouble beating, and I see this go to a decision, and Jake Paul gets a decision is what I feel. It goes to a decision, Jake Paul gets a decision is where I see this fight going to. Yes, a prime Mike Tyson, this would be no doubt. He would beat Jake Paul, even if it was 10 years, let's say, out. Mike Tyson, I think, wins. But at 57, I just don't feel as if he's going to probably win this fight. I think he's going to go to decision, and Jake Paul's going to win. But it'll be entertaining. Both guys get a fat payday. And, so I can't really hit on it that much. Jake Paul is in it for the money. It's very obvious what his game is. He took a page out of Floyd Mayweather's, book, and he's running with it. So I can't hate on that either. So I got Jake Paul winning and in a decision, but it'll be a very entertaining fight. So we will see. And I did want to give you some disturbing news about Ryan Garcia. I will say this much: I am very, very concerned as about Ryan Garcia's mental health. You know, on the serious tip, even if you're a celebrity or an athlete, what happens is you start buying your own hype, so to speak. Your circle, people who know you, fans, people usually close to you, they're gonna kind of talk you up, and you start feeling it. Not only that, getting attention from the media becomes kind of addictive. So when you get a lot of attention from them and then it goes away, you feel a lull in there, and it's like you want to get it back. It's like a high. It's addictive in that regard. You always want that high. And I feel as if Ryan Garcia mentally and maturity wise, he struggles in that high and low category. I don't like his mental state right now. I don't think the man is all right mentally. I pray for him. I saw some of the disturbing videos of, he said he's, not doing drugs, and he said, everything's good. He was saying that, but I wasn't really buying that everything is good. I see a guy that really needs some counseling, some mental health talk, and just a good friend to tell him about the highs and lows with when you're dealing with media and dealing with being a public eye. You have to be able to emotionally deal with those highs and lows. They can't talk about you all the time, and you don't want them to forget about you. And that high low thing can sometimes be a detriment to some people. So I really pray for Ryan Garcia on a serious tip. Boxing fight aside, I think the man is not right. I just don't like the way those high and lows he's been showing. And I pray for him. I really do. I really do pray for him. And, you know, we'll see what happens with Ryan Garcia going forward. But it should be interesting to see. I you know, I've seen people who struggle in his mental health criteria, and he does seem like a guy who needs help. He's saying the right things. He's saying he doesn't, but I can kind of see through that and see that, yeah, Ryan Garcia is not right, and that's being serious. So you're a friend of Ryan Garcia, family member, take him out for something to eat, talk to him, get him some help. But the man needs to get some help soon. He's got a fight coming up soon. You don't want to go into a fight, especially a big fight like this against Haiti, where your mind isn't right. So definitely look out for him. And I did say, as far as today being Women's International Day, props to all the women out there doing big things. Let me give you all a round of applause. We do that for you right now. Yeah, it's amazing, how, women are doing their thing in the year 2024. They're doing big things. A lot of women in sports as well as women in life that, they're really determined. They really go after it, and they really are trailblazers. I think sometimes I feel as if the women are kind of taking over and the men are kind of not stepping up as much. So keep doing what you're doing. Ladies doing things big. In fact, UFL put up a post, tag someone. I tagged Sinisa Superbad Estrada. For those who don't know, I had the honor of interviewing Sinisa Superbad Estrada. It's really great that she's doing her thing. If there was not a conflict with the UFL, I would have probably be at that fight, which is March 29th. And if we'll see what happens, I actually still could make her fight, but as of right now, it's not in the cards. But I do think she's going to win the fight and become undisputed, the first strawweight undisputed champion in women's history. I gave her the props that I'm really impressed with what she's doing, proud of what she's doing, and it's really a great thing to see. So best wishes to Sinisa Subban Estrada. Keep up the great work on Women's International Day. I could have really gave props to a lot of different women, but I went ahead and I know that fight's up this month. It just came top of my head, say, hey, I should give her some props. But there's quite a few women I could have actually gave props to, and it's just I just think she's going to get her thing and the 29th of this month. So I'll keep you guys posted. And I got something really big planned going on this weekend. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. You're going to have to wait. Follow me right there. Let me give you the right there on Facebook at Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Facebook at Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Please subscribe right here to Alan Alford and right there. And last but not least, you can follow me on Instagram, Alan Alford _ Twitter. It's at Alan Alford. If you type in Alan Alford for most social media formats, you should be able to find me. But yes, there is going to be something huge coming up this weekend. Not going to spoil a surprise. You're just going to have to wait and see. But yes, follow me on those different social media platforms. I really appreciate all that you do, fans. You guys are awesome. I wouldn't have these opportunities without you, and I really don't take it for granted. I appreciate everything you guys do. You guys are wonderful, and it's really been an honor having the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show along with the UFL Fan Den. Speaking of UFL Fan Den, we haven't recorded the last couple of weeks. My co-host Kurt Schwieger has been under the weather. Definitely pray for him that he continues to do a lot better. But yeah, that is the reason why we haven't done the last couple of weeks. I definitely pray that he gets better. But first and foremost is his health. So I'm praying that it works out, that he does get better. But I will keep you guys posted on that. And I will try to get some more AFL news. Next week is spring break. There's a lot of great things going to be happening too during this week. I will keep you guys posted. But man, AJ really did knock out Francis Ngannou. So, and let me go ahead and do a couple things for you guys. Let me go ahead and thank our wonderful sponsor. In fact, let me do that. So thank you to Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Make sure you visit Chef G's. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, so delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. And then you can come on down to see Chef G's right there, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, visit my great friend right there at FLBBQSauce.com. FLBBQSauce.com. We want to thank Chef G's. In fact, we're going to play another Sam Scola song. This is the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song. Thank you, songwriter Sam Scola and his wife Mary. They're on vacation, doing big things. You want to give Sam that opportunity for that big mega contract. Make sure you go ahead and take that email. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and play now also Sam Scola songs are available on YouTube and Spotify. YouTube and Spotify. You can catch any of those songs right there. I'm going to play that Sam Scola song right now. It's the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song here on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show.
Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Florida gold honey mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on.
Oops.
Comes in four varieties. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Florida gold honey mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty chicken and steak tips, a hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida.
Guys, got to set your clocks forward. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, so delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Make sure you don't forget to get that sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, so delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Make sure you visit them at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Yeah, so definitely make sure you get that sauce. And we are moving our clocks forward an hour. We're losing an hour's sleep. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and cut the show a little bit shorter than I normally would because we are losing an hour's sleep. So I'll let you guys get that, make up for that hour's sleep. But it's always been a pleasure here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show, doing things for you guys, doing big things. So make sure you don't forget to chime in and follow on all social media platforms. Just type in Allen Alford. Really appreciate your support. So we're going to end the show with another wonderful Sam Scola song. It's the end of the show, and that's the end of the show theme song by Sam Scola. Really appreciate him and Mary. So here it is, the end of the show theme song by Sam Scola.
It's the end